Welcome back to the Geek Gospel. This is Evan Bernstein. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Happy Monday, everyone. Just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. Chris is dealing with some things, so he's not going to be joining us for a couple weeks, which means I need your guys' help because as much as I do love geeking out by myself, it's always more fun with someone else. And there's a lot of great stuff coming out. I would really appreciate it if you join in on the conversation, comment. I want to do this with somebody. I love bouncing ideas off of Chris because his geek matches my geek. And yeah, it's just really fun when you have someone to geek out with about movies and TV and the news coming out and the trailers coming out. And so I'm hoping this will be a great opportunity for some of you guys watching to be able to chime in and hopefully join the conversation, comment in the comments below. And if we get enough, we can hopefully start doing this live and have you guys actually join in on the conversation live. So that's going to be going on for a couple weeks. And then hopefully Chris will join us back. I'm trying to get him for the Superman trailer dropping on Thursday, but we will see. But yeah, let's get into it. So first I want to talk a little bit about what I have been watching. And above all the Christmas movies, I did want to say that I finally saw Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and it was fantastic. I highly recommend this. Even if you're not a big fan of superheroes, the what this story is and what Christopher Reeve went through and his family went through and the love letter that this movie is from Christopher Reeve's children is quite beautiful. And I heard going into it that it's a tearjerker, and I can confirm that it definitely is. And my wife even really enjoyed it, and she's not the biggest documentary person, but it's such a fascinating story, and it really shows the perseverance of a human being going through the worst things imaginable in their lives, especially when you were Superman, and it also shows the strength of the people around you, the people that support you, his wife, what his wife went through. It's not just his story because the people around him were affected as well. And his wife is Lois Lane, another superhero in her own right. And it's just incredible. And it's really touching to hear it from the perspective of the children, some of which were extremely young when Christopher Reeve's accident happened. And it's just such an incredible story. It was so incredible that, as some of you know, I work with children. And the next day for our circle time, I decided to talk about what it means to be a hero, what a hero means to them. And it was just so inspiring. And I wanted to tell the children about the story. Even if they don't get it now, it's just really incredible. And I think it's really important for people to hear and the power, the perseverance and the endurance that someone has to go through these things and keep going and keep making a difference in people's lives. It's quite incredible. So I had to share that with the kids, and I had to incorporate it in some way that helps them understand what it means to be a hero and how any ordinary person can be a hero, become a hero. And yeah, it was just really incredible. On top of that, I watched Carry On, the Taron Egerton, Jason Bateman movie on Friday. It came out on Netflix, and it was pretty good. Everyone's saying it's a Die Hard ripoff. It takes place on Christmas Eve, yada, yada, yada. But I enjoyed it. My wife and I, we had my brother-in-law and his wife come over, and it was a nice Friday night movie at home. And that's how it goes these days. Stuff comes out on Friday on streaming. It's like you're going to the movies, but it's in your living room. And I really enjoyed it. Jason Bateman is a really good villain. Who would have thought, the nice guy is a very insidious villain, kind of, great voice. You hear him in the earbud. You guys have seen the trailer. And basically, Taron Egerton is a TSA agent who finally gets a chance to be on the line. But when he does, somebody sinister wants to get a package through and use him to do so. So really good, really easy watch. Taron Egerton continues to be such a great actor, and even when he's doing an American accent, and Yeah, it was really cool. I enjoyed it. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about, but definitely a nice movie to pop on when you don't have anything to watch. I definitely would recommend it. Other than that, continuing our Christmas movies, what do we watch? We watched Jingle All the Way with Arnold. We watched, oh man, there's that one with Kristen Stewart, Happiest Season. It came out in 2020. And this stars Kristen Stewart, Mackenzie Davis, Mary Sternbergen, Victor Garber, Allison Brie, Mary Holland, Dan Levy, Aubrey Plaza. It was really it's good. I don't love it by any means. It's not like, as you guys know if you listen to our top 10, it's not on my top tens by any mean, but I would give it a watch. It's on Hulu. And, yeah, it's decent. It's a decent Christmas movie. Other than that, we watched Jingle. Oh yeah, I already mentioned Jingle All the Way. There was another one. There's a one with Ed Helms and Jennifer Gardner, and it's on Netflix. It's one of those like switch body kind of movies. Family Switch. It came out last year. It's cute. The thing with Christmas movies, they don't need to be great. They just need to be entertaining for that moment. And it was entertaining. Family Switch. I want to get into this. So let's get into the quest for news. This comes to us from Variety. James Gunn's Superman debuts first moving poster that gives nods to Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel. And now we have news that the trailer will release on Thursday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Warner Brothers announced on Monday fans got a new look at the superhero with a motion poster that paid homage to Christopher Reeve's iconic Superman. And if you listen closely, you can hear the slowed down interpretation of composer John Williams' famous Superman theme. I really love it. And then the tagline is "Look up." And then as the famous S gets inverted from upside down to right side up. So it kind of feels like Man of Steel mixed with Christopher Reeves' Superman. And it kind of is honoring the Supermans that came before, which I really like. And it just makes me so excited. I can't wait. It is giving all the right feels. Superman, David Cornsweet, we see him looking up and the music, everything together. It just seems like so majestic. And I'm so ready for a trailer. I can't wait. It looks really good. I've been looking forward to David Cornsweet after Hollywood on Netflix. It's not just the look. It is the look because he's like 6'6" and like huge now. But it's the voice. The voice is what really got me in Hollywood. Listen to his voice. If you watch that show, he sounds like Superman. And man, I can't wait. Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult, I think is going to crush it at Lex Luthor. And then you have all these extra characters. A lot of people are scared because they've heard all these characters coming out, Crypto, even Crypto. But we need to trust James Gunn. We need to just give him that. Just give him your trust. Judge it once it comes out. But don't judge it before. Try to hold your judgments. Obviously, there's been so many interpretations and so many people love so many different types of Supermans. As you guys know, with Superman and Lois, the TV series, now I think Tyler Hoechlin is one of the best. So open your mind and be ready to be surprised. I think that's the best part, is when you go in with, you're always going to have expectations because it is Superman and we've seen so many and we love so many, but lower your expectations as much as you can so that you can be happily surprised when you see this. The trailer will give you an idea of what it looks like, and then you can judge for yourself. Even though a trailer is a very, very small sample size of what it could be. So give it some grace, give James Gunn some grace, and get ready for a great ride, because I'm so excited for this Superman. I cannot wait. Okay, with that down, I want to get into a trailer that dropped. And I heard about this movie last week. This is called Warfare with Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza both stepping into the director's chair. If you don't know, Alex Garland just did Civil War with Kirsten Dunst and Kaylee Spaney, which was fantastic. This is kind of in the vein of that, but this is real war. And the director, Ray Mendoza, is a Navy SEAL who was in Iraq, and this is his experience. And this comes just from A24. But this is shot and basically written from his memory. So it's very raw, it's very visceral, and man, I'm really excited about it. Iraq war was a crazy time. I was in high school, and so many people have so many different experiences there. And so I think it's really important to hear their experiences. And this, you actually get to feel it. And you have Alex Garland to help with, such great directing experience, but also his movies are so visceral themselves. So to be able to partner with Ray Mendoza, who lived it, and really dive into what his platoon went through in the Navy SEALs, overwatching the U.S. forces through their insurgents within the territory. It's just very fascinating. I would definitely check it out, the trailer. This cast also is incredible. It includes DeFaro Lunate, who is from Reservation Dogs, Will Poulter, Cosmo Jarvis, Kit Connor, Finn Bennett, Michael Gandolfini is in it, Noah Centino, Joseph Quinn, Charles Melton. The cast is incredible. Incredible. And you really get the firsthand experience from Mendoza, who's an Iraq war veteran, and really get to see specifically his story and what he went through. And from the trailer, it looks so good. I'm thinking like Jarhead or Hurt Locker. Once in a while, these movies come along that give you the texture of really what these soldiers went through. And I think it's really important to see that. American Sniper is another one. So I'm excited for it. And I love that he directed and wrote it, Mendoza. So this is his story. This is from his heart. And to partner with Alex Garland, who's such a great director at giving you the feel, and he just is hot off of Civil War, but to really dive into a real war and what someone really went through. I think it's so interesting and so cool. So I'm really excited for it, and I can't wait to see it. With that down, let's move on to this. White Lotus Season 3 has finally dropped its trailer, and we are going to Thailand. This gave us our first look at the 8-episode third season from Mike White. And the tagline is "Seeking Peace can be a trip." And the voiceover says, "Everyone runs from pain towards pleasure, but they get there only to find more pain." Whew, that is deep. The trailer looks crazy. Walton Goggins, of course, makes everything better, I think. And it looks really good. It looks really good. It looks crazy. Parker Posey, Carrie Coon, Scott Glenn, Natasha Rothwell is reprising her role as Belinda from the first season in Hawaii. We have Leslie Bibb, Michelle Monaghan. Great cast. As always, great cast. And a new place to go on vacation. So I think right away it feels and looks like White Lotus. And that's all you can ask for, right? Is eccentric, weird characters diving into the relationships at a certain point in their relationships, in their lives, happens to be on vacation, and all hell ensues. And so it just looks like right up the alley. I know a lot of people were concerned because Jennifer Coolidge is not back. Of course, you can find out why if you watch season 2. But she's such a big part of it. She was the carryover from the first 2 seasons. But from watching this trailer, I don't feel like it's missing something. I don't feel like, oh, she's missing from it. I just feel like I'm ready for the ride with these new characters, and it looks crazy. And Thailand, is a great place to start from, I think. It's definitely a vacation spot. My wife and I went to Thailand on our honeymoon. And we went to Koh Samui, which is, I believe, is the island that they filmed on. And so, I'm sorry, that was the voiceover. The tagline is actually, the social satire set at an exclusive Thai resort and follows the exploits of various guests and employees over the span of a week. Doesn't give us much, but that is pretty much the synopsis for every White Lotus besides the Thai resort, and I can't wait to get into it. So this is officially coming out February 16th, 9 p.m. on HBO and available to stream on Max. I can't wait. The creator said the third season will be a satirical and funny look at death and Eastern religion and spirituality. So I love that he always has certain themes when it comes to these outlandish storylines that we get into. So I can't wait to see it. I'm really excited, and hopefully you guys are too. And if not, please check out White Lotus. You will not be disappointed. It is such a crazy ride. Go along for it. Have a great time. Feel like you're on vacation, because there's always those crazier, eccentric people that you can see at the resort. And now you get to get a taste of what's going on in their lives. Okay, with that down, I want to get into this. This news dropped late last week, and we did not get into it as much as I would have loved to. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. DC's Clayface movie from Mike Flanagan lands a 2026 release date. Matt Reeves, Lynn Harris, James Gunn, and Peter Safie produced the feature for DC Studios that will focus on the Batman villain. I'm hearing this is a lower budget, 40 million body horror. Mike Flanagan is becoming, a horror genius in his own right. And so I'm really, really excited. This is a very old Batman villain. This originated in 1940. So this villain has been around a long time. And it hasn't been done justice. It hasn't, it's very fantastical, and it hasn't really been done in any movie. And we've seen him lately in, Harley Quinn, and we're going to see him in Creature Commandos. So I think Creature Commandos will be our first into this character. But I'm loving what I'm hearing about Mike Flanagan's version. So, and to keep in mind, Clayface is voiced by Alan Tudyk in Creature Commandos and also Harley Quinn. So I believe that he will be taking on, because they are saying, that the animated stuff, we will see those characters again in live action. So I do believe that is Alan Tudyk. Alan Tudyk is a fantastic actor, and he's a fantastic voice actor. But I have no doubt that if it is indeed Alan Tudyk in the role, that he will crush it. So that makes me really excited. But what makes me most excited is Flanagan is writing, directing, and producing. And so I'm really excited for that. He is also quite busy. He is writing, directing, and producing a new film in the Exorcist franchise for Universal. He helmed the Tom Hiddleston-led movie The Life of Chuck. That is a short story adaptation of Stephen King's, which is set to hit theaters in May from Neon, and it premiered at the Toronto Film Festival. And he's been wanting to do this for a while. I guess back in 2021, Mike Flanagan tweeted his hopes to someday work on a Clayface standalone feature, which he envisioned incorporating elements of horror, thriller, and tragedy genres. So it looks like his dreams are coming true, and it excites me because when someone has a passion for this, he's been, actively wanting to do this for a while and finally gets to do it, it makes all the difference in the world. And this is a spin-off, a villain spin-off that we're seeing in DC, which no other ones have been greenlight. We have Dynamic Duo, which is like a Robin's team-up animated film. So look at the projects. Look at the projects that Safie and James Gunn are giving us. Superman, strong, iconic character. Supergirl, darker version, not so much that we've seen. And then Dynamic Duo, an animated film about coming of age story we're hearing about the Robins. and then Clayface, a villain spin-off that is a darker, more body horror, more director visioned. It's more of the director's vision that's carrying it. So, and then also it goes back to what James Gunn said. They do not greenlit stuff until a script is completely finished. And I love that because we're not going to hear so much of like these other issues that other studios or that DC itself had, where they say something's coming, but nothing has been really put together. And then eventually they have to let us know that it's not coming out, it's dead. Or they move along with something that isn't strong with Batgirl and then cancel it after it's filmed and shelve it. So they're really doing due diligence. It needs to be done. It needs to be complete. It needs to be good. And then we will announce it. So the fact that they're doing this, they're putting their money where their mouth is and they're sticking to that. And they're showing it with Clayface. It's done. The script is in the can. It's ready to go. 2026 release date. Mike Flanagan leading the charge, his vision. It just gives you confidence that DC Studios is on the right path of doing it right, and I'm so excited. Mike Flanagan, let's go down his list. I'm not going to put these images in there. I think you guys should look them up if you're interested, but like The Haunting of Hill House is fantastic. Midnight Mass, Dr. Sleep, which pun intended, is definitely slept on. The Fall of the House of Usher, The Midnight Club, The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is another haunting of the Haunting trilogy, Gerald's Game, Hush, Oculus. It goes on and on. This man lives and breathes horror. And putting him into this Clayface tragic story of a failing actor who believes he's great and kind of feels like the world is against him. It's just right up his alley. It feels like this character was built for Mike Flanagan. He feels like it was built for him. And I'm so ready to get these kind of movies from DC. So I think it's fantastic news. I can't wait to see more as it comes out. And let Mike Flanagan's freak flag, horror flag fly, because this man can cook, and it seems like Safran and James Gunn are going to let him do so. So I am so excited. Okay, with that down, I want to move on to this. This also came out last week. Unfortunately, this is a disappointing update on Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Apparently, they were talking to the actor that plays the evil Spider-Man of Miles Morales at the end. And he said that he hasn't even seen a script, that he doesn't even know what's going on with it. They have not, scheduled him, nothing like that. So it started to worry people. And now we're starting to see some reports, and this comes just from Deadline, that Sony has no plans to release Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse in 2025. So it's kind of confirming that maybe there isn't a script, or maybe it's not done at all, and it scared people. Originally, the finale of the trilogy was scheduled for March 29th, 2024. Obviously, that did not happen. And as we spoke about last week, the villain Sony Spider-Verse is dead. They want to focus on Tom Holland Spider-Man and this Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So hopefully the focus is on this and we can get it in 2026. The reports mentioned that the studio is taking a lot of tender, loving care, which I don't know why you wouldn't already do that. In September, we did get a report that claimed the movie was unlikely to be released before 2027. So, man, I'm just very curious. We're getting all these things, some kind of official, some through the grapevine. And then we were hearing that large portions of the movie were scrapped completely for creative reasons. And then and then that could help, pinpoint maybe why the movie is being delayed even further, but nothing too official. And it's disappointing because I think these movies are incredible. I think they're some of the best Spider-Man movies of all time. I think they're some of the best I'm talking about the Spider-Verse movies. I think they're some of the best animated movies of all time and superhero movies of all time. They're incredible. The animation is incredible. I mean, unfortunately, we heard that a lot of the animators weren't treated as well as they could have been. They were maybe rushed because it's just such a big moving project, and especially after the success of the first one, there was a lot of pressure on the second one to be great. And so it's understandable maybe why they want to pump the brakes a little bit, give the animators some room to breathe and to be able to like be successful. So I'm excited, of course. I just really want to see this. And as we push it, we will be getting closer to Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie, which is supposed to release, I believe, in 2026 between Doomsday and Secret Wars. And so, can you have a Miles Morales and Tom Holland Spider-Man movie come out in the same year and both be as successful as they would have been if they weren't going head to head? How much Spider-Man can we take in one year? I think they will be successful no matter what. But having both those come out at the same around the same time, around the same year, it'll cause complications. I really think it will. And so it's interesting that this is getting possibly pushed into 2026, maybe 2027, but it's very close to Tom Holland's. And who knows how successful it will be when two superhero movies in the same genre, I mean, in the Spider-Man universe coming out around the same time, who's to say it won't affect each other? I'm not saying that it won't be successful. Of course, they will be successful. They are already very established franchises. But, man, it's cutting it very close. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate. It would have came out 9 months ago. But is this pause going to make this movie better? And if it does, then it's worth it. All I want is a fantastic product. Do I want it sooner? Of course. But do I want them to take their due diligence and their, what is it, tender loving care that they said, and make this movie as great as it can be and make it a great conclusion to a fantastic trilogy? Of course I do. So if that's what we get, then it's worth it. If it's not what we get, then it's like, what the hell were you guys doing? But once again, don't judge until it comes out. Have faith. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some more concrete news about this movie as we get into the new year, and hopefully we get those voice actors scheduled, because that will be a sign that it's actually happening, that they have a script, that they're ready to start, animating and doing the voices. So stay tuned. That's all we can do, is just stay tuned and take all this stuff with a grain of salt, because you don't know until you actually know. All right. With that down, let's move on to this. So this comes to us from Screen Rant. I've been seeing this go around a lot at the end of last week also. Ben Stiller's billion-dollar comedy trilogy will be getting a sequel and finds new streaming home next month. So it seems like not only will the Meet the Parents be getting home for streaming, but there is a fourth movie in the works. The Meet the Parents movies are coming to Netflix next month, so you guys can kind of get a taste of that and celebrate the news that Meet the Parents 4 is in development, with all the Fockers coming back. And just as that was announced, I don't know if this is coincidence, but Netflix announced that the trilogy will be coming to Netflix January 1st. I love the first two. I think the third one is kind of ass. But man, I love these characters. Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro. In the sequel, you got Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand. So, what a killer cast. And apparently, they're in early talks to come back to reprise their roles in a Meet the Parents 4. Am I excited about a fourth one? Based on the third one, I'm not too excited. and also based on comedy sequels in general, as we spoke about last week. You got to take them with a grain of salt because they could be terrible. So I hope they are only doing this because they have a great story that they want to get to. That is the only reason why you should do a sequel, and that's the only reason why you should do a comedy sequel. So we'll see. It's in early developments. Hopefully, the trilogy coming out on Netflix will get you excited. Get your juices flowing for a fourth one if that is indeed coming out. But it's in early developments. They're trying to get all the original cast back right now. Apparently, they have a story that they think is worthy of a fourth movie, but nothing is concrete till we see boots on the ground and they're filming. So if you're a fan of the franchise, then you will probably be excited about this. And if you're not, definitely give the first one a look. The first one is a classic. And if you like the first one, you'll like the second one, I think. The third one, it's to be desired. I'm not a fan. Awesome. All right, with that down, I want to get into some photos that dropped. This comes to us also from Screen Rant, and this shows us photos of Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan reuniting with the new Karate Kid Ben Wang in images from the movie that will be dropping in 2025. The upcoming Karate Kid Legends follows Macchio's Daniel LaRusso and Jackie Chan's Mr. Han as they both begin training a new talented student named Li Fong, portrayed by Wang. The movie will also include Shanette Renee Wilson as Miss Morgan, Joshua Jackson as Victor, and a bunch of additional cast, including Danny McBride and Ming-Na Wen, who is fantastic. Entertainment Weekly has released 3 new images showing we finally get a look. So this shows us let me start over. So we finally get images from Karate Kid Legends. We see both Daniel and Mr. Han begin to train Lee. Lee can be seen kicking while on top of a building, very Karate Kid-esque. Appears to be on a helicopter pad, while other images show Han training in a rooftop garden. All 3 characters are also shown looking at a map, trying to find somewhere they're trying to get to. So, I love the Karate Kid franchise, and also I love Cobra Kai. Season 6 will be concluding its final episodes on Netflix February 13th, 2025. And then I believe Legends will be dropping in May 2025. So only a few months gap between Cobra Kai ending and Karate Kid Legends coming out in theaters. I love the Karate Kid franchise. I think Cobra Kai definitely helped reinvigorate the franchise. It's a beloved series. My wife and I love it. The characters are fantastic. I'm very surprised. And we don't know. We only see Daniel, but I'm very surprised that not more of the Cobra Kai was incorporated into the movie after being such a big hit. But you got Jackie Chan. And you can't go wrong with Jackie Chan. And I love the idea of combining both those movies. The Jaden Smith movie, it wasn't the most beloved, but they are honoring it as part of the franchise. And so I believe that, it's important if you're going to have Jackie Chan, then yes, he's a part of the franchise because this is Jackie Chan. You know what I mean? So I'm excited just in the sense, like, I want to see a trailer. I want to see what this is. I'm a sucker for the uplifting sports movies when it comes to like Karate Kid and Rocky and Creed. They can be inspiring, they can be fun, they can be funny, they can be coming of age. They can be a lot of things. And so I'm a sucker for these movies. They give you hope, they give you something to fight for, they give you training montages, everything that you love about the cinemas, they give you a piece of. So is this something that we need? No, not necessarily. But you always have the classics. You always have Cobra Kai to fall back on. And you get to combine Jackie Chan and Daniel San in a new Karate Kid. And it could be really fun. So I think these images are really cool. You got him kicking on a rooftop. You have Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio working together with a new kid. You got the training on top of the garden rooftop with the bonsai tree, the classic bonsai tree that Mr. Miyagi made so famous. So I grew up on these films. I hope a lot of you did as well. I mean, as a kid, they were always on TV, and those were the movies that, if they're on TV, you end up watching the whole thing. So I hope this is another one of those movies that eventually a child will be home at TV and they'll see it on and they'll want to continue watching it. So I'm really excited for it, but I think I'm more excited for Cobra Kai just because it was such a fascinating show. It's a show that shouldn't work because it's just like memory berries, as John Campea likes to put it. But it did work, and the kids are fantastic in it. They're not kids anymore, so it has to conclude, and this will be a season 6 conclusion. So I am tying these together because Daniel San, Ralph Macchio, who plays Daniel San, will basically, it'll lead off from the end of Cobra Kai, he's saying. So hopefully there'll be some references, some mentions to his time within the Cobra Kai series, because why wouldn't you do that? Especially like the fans that are going to see this movie are Karate Kid fans, and they are Cobra Kai fans, and they will be going to see this movie. So please pay homage to what came before. The show is beloved now and a phenomenon at Netflix. I think it'd be a missed opportunity if you didn't use those member berries from the show to roll into the new movie. And it's only a few months apart, so it will be fresh in people's minds. Other than that, I think that will do it. Evan talked for 41 minutes by himself. I don't need to mention the disastrous box office of Craven because I think that is a given at this point. But yeah, that'll do it for the Geek Gospel. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this on my own for a little bit. If you guys want to join the conversation, I know I would appreciate it. As much as I love this stuff and I can geek out about it by myself and you can listen to my voice for 45 minutes, I would love for you to be a part of the conversation. And we can go live if we start getting comments in, on these videos. Then that kind of gives me a signal that we can go live and we can talk about it together. But don't leave me hanging. I need someone to geek out with, and I need you guys. Eventually, Chris will be back. But this is a great opportunity to dive deeper into this community, come together and geek out. That's what I want, and that's what I hope for you guys, is a place where you can geek out too. These shows like John Campea and other ones that I've mentioned, they give you a place to talk with other people that love this stuff. They love movies, they love TV, they love comic book, they love the comic book movies. And I love this stuff, and I love talking about it with people. Even with people that you don't know, these common love for these things bring people together. And that's one of the most beautiful things about geekdom. So please come geek out with me. If not, I'll still be here. I'll still be geeking out, but I would love if you can join. Tune in on Wednesday as we geek out a little bit more. I'll go live, see if you guys want to join. If not, I'll be by myself geeking out no matter what. I love doing this. Chris loves doing this. He will be back eventually. I miss him. My scene partner is what makes me happy about this, because even though we have a similar mindset when it comes to this stuff, we have different perspectives. And that's the best thing about this stuff, is you can love it, but you can come from different angles and have different opinions and talk about it together and have them open up your minds. Sometimes these people will give you different point of views that you wouldn't necessarily considered if you were geeking out by yourself. So geek out with me. That'll do it for the show. And I can't wait to talk to you guys on Wednesday. All right, guys, have a good Monday and take care. That'll do it.